On a Saturday morning in February, the eldest sister sits at the kitchen table in her flat in South London. Her laptop is open, her phone is on the counter beside the kettle. The phone has rung 3 times in the past 20 minutes. Each call is from her mother in Anambra State. She has not answered. The eldest sister is 38 years old. She moved to London at 25 on a nursing visa and has worked as a critical care nurse at Guy's and St. Thomas's for 9 years. She received permanent residency in 2019 and became a British citizen in 2021. Her husband is a Nigerian-British structural engineer who moved to the United Kingdom as a child. They have 2 children, a daughter who is 8 and a son who is 5. For 11 years, the eldest sister has sent money to her mother every month. She has also contributed to weddings, funerals, medical bills, school fees, immigration expenses, and other family needs. Her niece's wedding in December required a large contribution. A recent burial required another. This morning, her laptop is open to Nedra Tawwab's newsletter. She has followed Tawwab's work for about 3 years. Tawwab's books, Set Boundaries, Find Peace, and Drama Free, sit on a shelf above the kitchen table. For 3 weeks, the eldest sister has been preparing a message to her mother. She has written and deleted it several times. When the 3rd call arrives, the draft is open on her phone. She places the phone face down. A message arrives from her sister in Accra. Mommy is calling because of cousin Ada's school fees. The eldest sister described here is a composite. The details come from the experiences of many Nigerian women working in Britain and supporting families at home. No single person is being portrayed. This episode is about the person who begins to limit what the family can ask of them. The language often used for that person is the cycle breaker. The first 8 episodes followed the household, child labor, marriage, religion, gender, remittances, the pressure carried by migrants, and the conflict between artistic work and family expectations. The cycle breaker has lived inside all of these systems. They may continue loving the family. They may continue sending money. What changes is their decision to place limits on what they will provide and what they will accept. The current language of boundaries and cycle breaking comes largely from therapists and writers working in the United States. Nedra Tawwab has become one of the most widely read voices in this field. She is a licensed therapist whose work focuses on boundaries, family relationships, people-pleasing, and emotional health. Her 2021 book, Set Boundaries, Find Peace, became a bestseller. Her 2nd book, Drama Free, focused more directly on difficult family relationships. Tawwab's work draws from family systems therapy, a field developed through clinicians including Maury Bowen, Salvador Minuchin, and Virginia Satir. She translated many of its ideas into language that could be used outside a therapist's office. A boundary is one of those ideas. A boundary tells another person what someone can offer, what they cannot offer, and what they will do when a request crosses that limit. The language can sound simple. Using it inside a family is much harder. Mariel Buqué has written about intergenerational trauma and the ways fear, violence, deprivation, and emotional injury can move through families. Her book, Break the Cycle, asks people to identify patterns they inherited and decide which ones they will continue. Resma Menakem has written about how racial and historical trauma is carried through the body. His work examines the physical responses people develop under long periods of danger, control, and social pressure. Esther Perel has shaped public conversations about intimacy, marriage, desire, and conflict. Lori Gottlieb has helped make therapy more accessible through her writing and podcasting. Together, These clinicians and writers have helped create a public vocabulary for experiences that many people previously struggled to name. That vocabulary includes boundaries, codependency, people-pleasing, estrangement, intergenerational trauma, and cycle breaking. There are also clinicians who warn that this language can be used too quickly. Joshua Coleman writes about family estrangement from the perspective of both adult children and parents. He accepts that some people need distance from harmful families. He also argues that popular discussions often understate what estrangement does to parents, siblings, grandchildren, and the wider family. Carl Pillemer has studied estrangement and reconciliation through the Cornell Family Estrangement and Reconciliation Project. His work shows that family estrangement is common, although the reported numbers vary according to how researchers define it. Some studies count only the complete loss of contact between a parent and child. Others include siblings, grandparents, aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, and relatives who remain in limited or hostile contact. Depending on the definition, surveys have found that between roughly 1/4 and 1/3 of American adults are estranged from at least one family member. Some broader estimates are higher. The exact number remains disputed. The larger point is clear. A substantial number of adults have reduced or ended contact with someone in their family. The available research tells us much less about African migrants. Most large surveys do not separate recent African immigrants from the wider Black population. That matters because a Nigerian living in Britain or the United States may still have parents, siblings, cousins, property, ceremonies, and financial obligations in Nigeria. The relationship is active across two countries. The family at home is not a distant cultural memory. It is calling on the phone. Cycle breaking in this context often begins with money. Some migrants stop sending entirely. Many choose a fixed amount. A person may decide to send £200 every month and refuse additional requests. Another may pay directly for a parent's medication or siblings' school fees instead of sending money for general household expenses. Someone may route all requests through one trusted relative. Others stop responding to requests that are presented as emergencies without enough explanation. These decisions are attempts to make support predictable. They are also attempts to protect the migrant's own household. South Africans often discuss this pressure through the term black tax. The 2019 anthology, Black Tax, Burden or Ubuntu, edited by Nick Mlongo, brought together writers with different views of the obligation. Some described supporting extended family as a responsibility they accepted. Some supported the practice while arguing for limits. Others described it as a form of exploitation that prevented one generation from building financial security. The disagreement is important. There is no single African position on family obligation. The support can represent love, reciprocity, sacrifice, coercion, or several of these at once. Nigerians and Ghanaians across the diaspora have also built a large public conversation around these questions. People discuss monthly transfers, hospital bills, school fees, funerals, family group chats, and the pressure placed on the relative believed to be doing well abroad. Podcasts such as I Said What I Said, hosted by Joels and Feikemi Abudu, have brought these conversations into a recognizable Nigerian voice. Social media has made the discussion more visible. It has also made it more extreme. A complicated family relationship can be reduced to a sentence telling someone to cut everyone off. A parent can be called toxic because they asked for money. An adult child can be called selfish because they refused. The real relationships are usually more difficult than either description allows. Therapy has become more accessible to Black and African communities during the same period. Joy Harden Bradford founded Therapy for Black Girls to help Black women find therapists and discuss mental health without the stigma that had often surrounded it. The platform includes a podcast and a directory of Black therapists. In Britain, the Black, African, and Asian Therapy Network helps people locate therapists who understand race, migration, religion, and family culture. Nigeria has also developed a larger public mental health conversation. Hawa Ojefo founded She Writes Woman in Lagos. The Mentally Aware Nigeria initiative helped bring mental health into wider public discussion. Clinicians, including Maimuna Yusuf Kadiri, have continued speaking through hospitals, books, interviews, and public programs. This access matters because people need somewhere to examine the costs of both choices. Setting a boundary can protect someone from burnout. It can also produce grief. A person who limits contact with their family may sleep better, save money, attend therapy, spend more time with their children, or repair their marriage. The same person may lose access to parents, siblings, cousins, language, ceremonies, and the country they left. Their children may grow up without knowing the grandparents, relatives, and places that shape the parents' life. The cost can continue into the next generation. Parents also experience the separation. Research on estranged parents records depression, anger, shame, guilt, disrupted sleep, and a loss of meaning. A parent may genuinely believe they sacrificed everything for the child. The adult child may remember the same upbringing as controlling, frightening, or emotionally damaging. Both experiences can exist in the same family. The disagreement becomes harder when money is involved. A parent may see school fees for a cousin as a normal family responsibility. The migrant may see the request as one more expense placed above their own children's needs. A mother may remember that the household helped educate and send the child abroad. The child may remember that the migration was also the life they were expected to build so the household could receive support. Each side has its own record of what has been given. The records rarely match. The cost of continuing without limits is also real. A person may send money for years and reach middle age without savings. They may delay buying a home or paying down debt. They may work extra shifts and have less time with their spouse and children. Their own health may deteriorate. The person may continue because stopping feels cruel, dangerous, or spiritually wrong. The question is therefore larger than whether someone should help their family. It is about who decides the amount, duration, and purpose of that help. The cycle breaker discourse argues that the migrant has the right to participate in those decisions. It does not require everyone to end contact or stop sending money. The popular version often loses that distinction. Nigeria adds several complications to the boundary language developed in the United States. The first is religion. A person who refuses a parent may be told that they have violated the commandment to honor their father and mother. The refusal may be treated as a spiritual failure rather than a financial decision. A pastor or relative may tell the person to repent. The boundary then becomes a disagreement with both the family and the religious community. The second complication is the size of the family network. The obligation may extend beyond parents and siblings. Uncles, aunts, cousins, in-laws, godparents, village elders, hometown associations, church groups, and family friends may all make claims on the migrant. A person may set a boundary with a mother and still receive requests through 6 other relatives. The refusal must then be repeated. Each repetition creates a new conflict. The third complication is the funeral. A person may stop sending monthly support and reduce contact for years. When a parent or senior relative dies, the expectation to return and contribute becomes difficult to refuse. The person may need the same family they have distanced themselves from to receive them, organize the funeral, provide access to the family home, and reconnect them with the wider community. Funerals often reveal the limits of the cycle breaker language. The family relationship is still present, even after years of distance. The eldest sister in London begins typing her message. It takes 11 minutes. She tells her mother that she can contribute £200 toward cousin Ada's school fees for the current term. She explains that this will be her full contribution to those fees for the academic year. She lists some of her own expenses. The flat needs repairs. Her daughter's school trip requires a deposit. She has already contributed to her brother's immigration legal fees. She says that she will not be able to take on additional family requests until after Easter. She writes, "I love you, Mom, and I will continue to send what I can on the schedule we agreed. I need the rest of the family to understand that the schedule is what I can sustain." She reads the message 3 times. She edits the final sentence. She removes the word "please" because her sister told her that she apologizes too much. Then she sends it. The phone remains silent for 17 minutes. She begins preparing breakfast. Her husband enters the kitchen with coffee and sits at the table. They speak briefly about his work. She takes eggs from the refrigerator. Then the phone rings. Her mother is calling. She answers. The conversation lasts 38 minutes. Her mother says she read the message. She says she is proud of her daughter for expressing herself clearly. She says she understands that life in London is expensive. Then she explains that cousin Ada's mother is in a hospital in Onitsha. Doctors have been investigating an illness for 3 weeks. The family is trying to pay both the hospital bill and Ada's school fees. The mother had not mentioned the hospitalization earlier because she knew her daughter was already dealing with other expenses. She says the £200 will help. She does not directly ask for more. There is a silence on the line. The eldest sister looks at the eggs on the counter. Her husband can hear her mother's voice through the phone and has stopped reading the news. The eldest sister says she will check her accounts later. She says she will send what she can toward the hospital bill. She does not name an amount. Her mother thanks her. They move to other subjects. Her mother asks about the children. She asks about the husband. The call ends with a promise to speak again on Sunday. After breakfast, the eldest sister writes in the family group chat. She says she will send an additional £400 for the hospital bill. Her brother in Houston replies that he will contribute $300. A sister in Croydon offers £200. The sister in Awka says she will visit the hospital and update everyone. The elder sister closes the laptop. She has exceeded the limit she set less than an hour earlier. This does not mean the boundary was meaningless. It means the information changed. It also means that family obligations do not arrive as abstract demands. They arrive attached to people. The aunt in the hospital held the eldest sister's hand at her wedding 11 years earlier. The sister has not seen her in 4 years, but she knows her voice immediately whenever she hears it on the phone. That relationship affects the decision. The eldest sister will discuss the morning with her therapist. She may decide that she was manipulated. She may decide that she made a reasonable exception. She may decide that the limit needs to be clearer next time. She may reach all 3 conclusions. I know versions of this table. I know what it is to prepare a message carefully and then change the decision after answering the phone. I know what it is to set a limit and hold it. I also know the grief that can follow when the limit changes the relationship. The language of boundaries gives people a way to state what they can sustain. It does not remove illness, school fees, funerals, affection, memory, or responsibility. It cannot decide every case in advance. The relationship is still where the decision must be made. The next episode closes the series by returning to the document itself, to the person writing it, and to the people for whom it was written.